The Queers podcast is brought to you by the Flamingo Fund, supporting LGBTQ+ projects, organisations and initiatives. To find out more, head to flamingoscoffeehouse.co.uk/the Flamingo Fund.
This episode of the Queers podcast was produced in association with Unmasked Neurodiversity Network, an incredible charity in Leeds aiming to provide unwavering support and guidance to individuals within the community. To donate or find out more, visit unmaskednn.co.uk. Hello and welcome back to the Queers On podcast with me, Alex Mitchell.
And me, Hollie Noble.
Today we're joined by yet another fantastic guest. He's a brilliant comedian. He's doing lots of great work all over the country on the circuit. Please welcome Alex Tighe.
Woohoo! Yay! That was underwhelming, but yay!
It always is. We try our best, but it's always underwhelming. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's all good, guys. It's all good.
No, we're very excited to have you. When we have a guest, we always start by saying what would be your ideal drink to have now? What would be the dream drink?
No,
ideal?
Not drink.
I'm not allowed to say dream drink for copyright reasons.
Oh, okay.
We've been trying different ones. A couple of episodes ago, we tried the phrase favourite liquid. It's not. I don't think that's going to stick.
Yeah, I was going to say,
If
there's
you
two
were to
different
drink
answers for
something
that.
Right now, what would it be? What would you, if I said you could have any drink?
With how warm this room is, probably a Bailey's on the rocks. I'd say.
Oh, bit
classy.
Yeah, a little bit. It's
nice,
nice.
love
Yeah.
a Baileys.
Christmas milk.
Christmas milk.
Christmas milk, yeah.
Love a Baileys. Is that your drink of choice? It doesn't have to be alcoholic.
Yeah, no, it is. It's only because I've been craving it the last few days. I bought a bottle of Bailey's last night to be able to have one today.
That's
The
great.
only person that's ever bought Baileys in ever.
Yeah.
I think I might have some. I might make. You ever put Bailey's in ice cream and made it into a milkshake?
Yeah.
Turn it into a milkshake.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that this
Sexy.
evening.
That's.
Sexy.
It's
Sexy.
so fucking sexy.
I was expecting just pour it on your ice cream.
No.
And
Well, you can do that, but if you want to take it to another level.
Like
Yeah.
blend it.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
so
Obviously.
good.
Is that what people are using blenders for?
Yeah.
That's what I've been using mine for.
Interesting.
So.
I don't have a blender, so I just have a big lump of ice cream and
You're
Baileys.
just mixing your mouth.
I sort of have to get a whisk and be like, but I don't know if you ever tried whisking a solid. It's not.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes is pathetic.
It's really, it's proper tough going. Yeah. But you, like at the end, you're like, this will be worth it.
But isn't it turning into like whip?
No, because it's milk and ice cream. It's not like just cream.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it should be fine.
So,
Also, I don't know how rigorously you think I'm like, I'm not going to town at this point. like really working hard on this thing.
Oh no, I've made a meringue.
Oh shit, no.
Okay, are you going to do that later then?
I will do, yeah. I'm now also excited by the idea of accidental meringue. So really,
Yeah.
yes.
I hate it when it happens.
Yeah, no. Go home, there's a full table of meringues. Oh, not again. Great, but that is a solid choice. This is a
good introduction to what the podcast is.
Yes.
So, next question. How do you feel Thor identifies sexually?
Ooh, okay. So whenever I introduce myself to people, it's normally if they're very straight. If they're good people, it's a hard one. So yeah, damn straight. No, so basically I tend to go bi is the one that I normally go with, but I feel like it's more complicated. I feel like the labels.
Wait. For Thor?
Yeah.
So you tell people what? I'm confused.
I feel like I'm confused
Okay.
now.
So Thor, the Disney character.
Yeah.
So you always what?
Yeah, as in Thor, the God of Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big old.
You've
big...
told people before what he identifies as.
Have you never had this conversation before?
No!
Oh! Sorry, I have Have you never played the game where you put sexualities to Marvel characters?
Not outside of this podcast, no.
That was the thing.
I thought it was
I'll be
common.
honest, we thought we were the only people doing it.
No.
We thought
Okay.
this was like really unique.
Because then when you were going, what I would say is this, and we were like,
Are you talking about yourself?
Yeah, I was like, do you call yourself Thor? Is your pronoun, are your pronouns he, him, God of Thunder? Like, why is
So you have this conversation a lot.
Not a lot.
No,
but
but
it's
more than
yeah.
us.
We do. I've done it with my mates with Disney characters.
It
like,
sounds like a green room conversation, to be fair.
Yeah,
Because we have these weird ones. My favourite game to play in green rooms at the minute is we do whatever year you were born, and you've got to try and guess what the biggest film and the biggest single was of the year you were born, and that's always a nice little icebreaker.
Are you bringing that to a green room then?
Sometimes, yeah. Only if there's people in there like I already know. If it's people I don't know, I'm not going to walk in and be like, "Poof, guys, I've got a game." I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not. Like,
hey guys, how gay's Thor?
right now, right? Tell me.
So okay, right.
I'd say he's very bi, but
Yeah, he was a Viking god.
Yeah,
I mean, same vibe as Romans, right?
Yeah, exactly. They went in Rome, and I think he's very bi. I think he, right, he's super bi, but I've had it before where
that's a different character. Superman's
yeah,
a different character.
super bi.
Super bi comes in. He's got 4 tote bags. That's his, he can carry anything. That's his superpower. We've just alienated a significant proportion of our audience.
Right, so he's super bi.
I think he's super bi, but I also think he's completely opposite and very asexual as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Is this a conversation you've had previously? What else have you talked about previously?
Okay, I'll throw a question back at you real quick. Scar from The Lion King. Sexuality. Go.
I think we've had this before, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, the conversation started because I said in a very early episode, I said that I think my sexual awakening was Mufasa from The Lion King.
Fair. I get it.
Oh,
Exactly, right?
fuck off.
Particularly the bit where he comes like
Why?
he's already died, but he comes back in the stars. Yeah.
Why does no one find that weird?
One person has, and he's also weird.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Al Stevenson.
Do you not find that weird that he fancies a cartoon?
I don't still no. You keep saying I fancy it. I don't fancy it.
Yeah, you do. You
It's
say
my
you wank for it
sex-
all the time.
No, at no point have I ever said that.
Whoa.
You said you love bestiality.
Everyone's allowed a hobby. So I don't fancy it. I said a sexual awakening as a child but again, it's less about the character, more about the presence.
Yeah.
You know
Have
what I
you
mean?
have you never found an animated character?
Well, Hannah Platt, I believe, brought this up about the fish on
Shark Tale.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's a sexy fish.
Because mine's a lot more boring than that. Shigo from Kim Possible. Like the proper. Oh, she's like the one who wears a green tight suit and has like proper goth vibes.
I know what it is through people saying that on TikTok.
Yeah. That has kind of set me up for life and failure.
That month where everyone was doing Hear Me Out cakes.
Yeah.
She was on every Hear Me Out cake.
I don't think that's a hear me out though. I think that's.
I mean, it is in the fact that she's not real.
Yeah.
I think
say
if
that.
they're not reil, you can't really say like
Isn't she a child?
details. Details.
Umbrella.
Yeah, no. He fancies a lion.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's more fucked.
There's one thing worse than an
Whoa.
opposite
I think
bestiality.
All of this is getting cut. Not a moment of this can be aired. Christ.
We're on this podcast also. We're on this podcast, don't we?
Yeah. Occasionally we said, well, yeah. I mean, the worst one we did was I told a story about how I once got drunk and had a conversation about, we were talking about the kinks of the Mario Kart characters, and I said that I think Bowser's like into pain, like he wants Peach to step on his balls.
Yeah.
And I said that, and Holly, that was the first thing she ever clicked up for social media. So I was like, as soon as she said that, I was like, wow, you have one job and you have known exactly how to use it, lady.
Bowser into cock and ball torture is the funniest thing.
Yeah, right.
ever.
It's funny though, isn't it? Like, there's so many of them. But all of them got their own kick. Wario's into food, but not sexy food, like gross, like gravy.
Not sexy food. What's sexy food then?
Well, like, stereotypically sexy. Like, I'm not saying I find it sexy,
Yeah,
but no, not at all.
Yeah, but you did say not sexy food, which is gravy. Fair enough. Agree with that.
So traditionally, a sex would be like chocolate, wouldn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
got
he's
it.
not into that. He's into, he's got like a full sausage being thrown around.
Oh,
Like, he is a
cool.
dodgy
So
guy.
it's cream cheese. That's definitely.
Cream cheese, that's
Definitely.
right. That's
definitely
the
cringy.
worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
The worst.
That's
thing ever.
awful. It's awful. I used to when I've got one of my friends. She's amazing. She's straight, but we forgive her. She, when she was on, but she's now in a very happy relationship. But when she wasn't, and when she was on Tinder, she used to be like, she didn't realise at first that you could change the age settings on Tinder. So she had it for everybody, which meant there were loads of old men, but quite. Not great, just weird messages, right? And she would then send it to me, and eventually she gave me access to her Tinder, and she would just send me a screenshot of what someone said and just caption it, "Do your worst," and then I'd have to come up with something. And our go-to would be whenever the conversation started to end, we'd just write "me, you, and a petty for Lou. Let's have a good time." Like, it was just like, and just to see how they react. And some old guys, they were into that shit.
I feel like that could be your catchphrase.
Me, you, and a petty for Lou.
Yeah.
I don't think I want it to be my
It
catchphrase.
is now,
It suits
unfortunately.
you, though.
Yeah.
It does.
What the hell? That's the worst thing
I'm
anyone's
sorry.
ever said to me.
I'm sorry, but it does. I
It
can't imagine
suits
anyone
you.
else saying that other than you.
Yeah, just because I say weird shit. It's very much a trademark of my act. It's just occasionally I'll just say something fucking mental because I can't be bothered writing a proper joke. Sorry for the peek behind the curtain. Sorry for the peek behind the curtain. To anyone who's bought tickets to my tour show. At least half of it is me just saying weird shit. Like, that's all it is. Like, just occasionally I'll put 3 words together and go, "That's funny."
Yeah.
That'll do.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I mean, that is very much, hey, I'm lazy, but that's where we're at.
No.
I am very excited to have you on the podcast because I am also a bisexual man, right? And I think what you've come to talk about today, I think is really important and really relevant, and I resonate with a lot. So I'm really excited to hear you taking it because, well, people will have seen the title of the episode is "Am I Queer Enough?" And I fully, just from the title, I like fully embrace and understand what you're going for and what you're trying to say, both inside and outside of the industry we work in. In the industry we work in, there's lots of things like we've talked a lot about before, where there are things like queer-only nights, and there are things like that. And sometimes as a bisexual person, do we feel like we're the best for that job? I've also talked about it quite a lot in terms of like relationships I've been in where I feel guilty because I feel like if I'm dating a man, it's like, oh, but I also fancy women, so I feel kind of guilty about that. So I was really interested to hear what you sort of had to say. And so for you, sort of, when did this kind of question start popping up for you in your head? Like in terms of, how long after you came out, or was it even before you came out kind of thing?
It was, so for me, I was in a straight relationship for 8 years from a very young age, and then when, not very young, but young enough, from the age of about...
Impossible! That was a race to that guy.
I left it for you guys.
Yeah, all 3 of us think we're talking about it. Hang on a minute. One of us is going to go.
So, from the age of 16, and I'd obviously... There was questions there for me and my sexuality, and I spent a lot of time. Then we broke up in 2022, and there was this moment of like, oh, I can now find out a little bit about myself and who I am, and I got to experiment, I got to kind of just find out who I am. And then all of a sudden it felt like I was 2 different people, if that makes sense. Like, there was still me who I have always been, but now I've got this quote unquote label that I'm now like, oh, okay, so as a bisexual man, do I have all these things? And like, and it got very, I'm an anxious overthinker and autistic, and my brain just tried to compute it all when really it's just feelings.
Yeah.
And it was very early on. I went on a date about 6 months single, and about halfway through the date, I always want to be open with who I am relatively early, and I let her know that I'd slept with men and that bisexual is the term that bi or pan, like whatever identity works best for me. And she went dead silent, and I was like, oh, okay. And she got really, really funny with me and was like being off a little bit. I was like, are we okay? Because I'd made a joke earlier in the night as well, because she said about owning 2 houses, and I went, all right, Tory. And that kind of didn't get a laugh, and I was like, ooh, is this? And then basically at the end of the night, she was like, I don't want to date a gay man. And I was like, but I'm
Not gay.
not gay. And she was like, well, you've slept with men. And I was like, this anger, but also this almost embarrassment, because I think there was this kind of like, I don't know if you had this, but like growing up, you have this kind of, everything's gay is bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like you have this almost natural homophobia kind of subconsciously in there already
Oh,
that,
God, yeah.
that I've had to battle with, and I got really upset and really kind of almost disgusted in myself at the same time, and it really hurt. And what made it worse was I was like, right, we're on the same train. I'm going to let her get the train. I'm going to go to a different station, get on there, because by the time I get to the next station, she'll have already gone through. However, what I didn't realise is to miss me, she missed that train to get it. So I get on the train and sit in an empty carriage, and on the opposite side, she's just sat there, and I was like, oh, shit. Oh, no.
Well,
Oh.
I think
she sounds fucking despicable.
she does, but I think that we need to look at both angles. She obviously has every right to say, I don't want to, like, that isn't my preference.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think the issue is obviously that she's labelled you as something that you are not.
100%.
So by saying I don't want to, well, that's not what I am.
Yeah.
Although that is her choice, fair enough. People have a preference
Yeah,
for whatever
yeah.
reason. I can see why that brought out like feelings of shame and like that internalized homophobia. Because I think we're a similar age, and I think when we were younger, gay was like this bad thing,
Yeah.
and everyone was like, "Oh, that's gay," and it was a bad thing. And then we've grown up to a completely different thing. So I think there is internalized homophobia. I had some of that.
Yeah, 100%. There's internalized homophobia. I think, just going back to what you're saying, I think what you can blame her for is, labelling you completely wrongly and inappropriately as well. There's just no need for that.
Yeah.
But I think also, like, maybe not blame her, but there's definitely a societal blame to, her saying, her subconscious going, I don't want to date a bisexual person. Like, also fundamentally that is wrong. Like, and I don't think you can necessarily blame an individual for that. I think that is definitely a societal perception. But it is weird, isn't it? Because I do feel I'm the same with you. I tend to, before a date, I will almost very early on in talking stages go, I am bisexual. Yeah. And not like that. I would drop it in sort of casually. If people ask about past relationships, I'll be like, well, I was with this guy, and then I was with this girl, and it's just like you can sort of. I try and bring it up subtly. Yeah. But to be fair, I think I am more used to that anyway, because I often feel the need to subtly bring up that I'm autistic, and I also have to subtly bring up my disability. Yeah. Because again, that can always if I turn up and people see me and I'm ticking or whatever else is going on, and they're like, this isn't what I ordered. Like, it's sort of, you know what I mean? Like, hang on a second. It's sort of like, so, and then just mainly, like, I'm not saying people then go, oh, he's disabled, I'm not going to date him. It's more about people, like, it avoids the awkwardness, because of course people are going to be like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting.
I mean, I suppose some people would say,
but it always just is awkward.
Yeah.
I would be awkward, but if someone, even if it's someone just with tics like me, just turned up, and I didn't know beforehand, I'd still be like, oh, and just avoids that awkwardness. There's just that element of surprise, because it's just a surprise we're not expecting that everybody's able-bodied, everybody's straight.
Exactly.
Like that's still,
it is,
there's still that assumption around 100%. So I do fully get what you're saying, and she just
sounds like a lucky escape.
Yeah, it
was.
does.
It was a lucky escape. It just.
But she did have 2 houses. No, I'm joking.
I know.
I'm not advocating for that.
Her dad was a farmer as well. The amount of tax.
Yeah, I was going to say, the amount of tax you wouldn't have to fucking pay. I think it's definitely it's an interesting. Are you in a relationship now?
No, single. So I've been kind of dating on and off since my breakup, but I'm a hopeless romantic, and I feel like being in a relationship for 8 years, you come out of that, and now I just kind of want to jump straight back into feeling comfortable with someone and just being really. So this whole dating thing's really hard, and as I say, the whole discovering who I am over the last 3 or 4 years has been big for me, but it's trying to get that across to people, because I get so worried about it, as you're saying, like letting them know early on. When I send that message, I'm sat with my phone just like, right, because especially if we've been talking, say,
for a reply.
Yeah, if we've matched and I'm like, she's really pretty or he's really, really nice, I'm like, please, like, please accept me as me, because I haven't for the longest time, so please can you...
Yeah, and you're just wanting that someone to just to get it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
How would you feel about, like putting that in your profile to get rid of that anxiety for you? Or what's stopping you doing that?
We'll go back to the kind of homophobia. I think it's this thing of, if I still on my Tinder profile have myself down as straight.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's not me trying to pretend to be something. I just never think about it, and then I think there's this kind of worry that this is so silly. The worry that somebody will be on their phone. I will never know about this. They'll look at me, be like, "Oh, he seems nice. Oh, he's bi." No, because I do that with, like, I'm not a religious person the slightest.
Yeah.
I hate religion, so if I see a religious thing on there, I don't do it in like a, ew, I'm gonna get rid of it. It's just like, we're probably not gonna be a good mix, so I'm gonna swipe past.
We don't have that in common.
I think there is a fear of having it written down, because when it's written down, it's real.
I agree with that.
This is why this is big for me. This is the first I've only just started talking about being bi in my stand-up within the last 3 weeks, and this is the first proper.
This is really exciting.
This is almost a coming out thing for me. Thank you.
Brilliant.
No, it's so. I'm very grateful you come on and chose to come and talk to us with us. It is an emotional thing. Like I said, committing it to paper, committing it to recording. Yeah, you've gone bold, mate. Like it's you know, it may be. Like, what I can put it in context to as well is, like, sort of, for me again, growing up autistic, right? So autism was a word that was battered around in my life since I was a kid, right? It's always been known that I had autism, always, and fuck me, I'm on the spectrum. Like, I've got a league table of my favourite service stations, right? That's just, and it changes regularly, right? Right. But so it's just always been a word that's battered around my mouth as a kid, because I was always, it was always like, oh, treated slightly differently as a kid in terms of, I knew different things at school and stuff, but I didn't actually get a diagnosis till a week after my 21st birthday because of how terrible the system is in this country, and also because I grew up in a time when austerity was at its absolute peak. Mm-hmm. So it's like all these things get cut. There was still things like, so I knew I was autistic. I've known autistic since I was like 5 years old, but a week after my 21st birthday, when the paper actually lands on the doorstep, because that's when it's like, oh, it's real.
Yes.
This is actually a thing now.
Yeah.
And I think with sexuality, it was a bit different for me, because, like, I've known I was not straight since I was a child, like 6, 7 years old. I didn't have a word for it. And honestly, the word gay comes back and you're like, oh, you learn what the word gay means. You're like, okay, maybe I'm gay. And then for years, until I was about 16, I didn't really have a word for it. Well, I told the story in the podcast where I first came out when I was 13 years old. The first time I said, oh, I think I'm bisexual, and it was during a game of Truth or Dare on a Year 9 residential. Wow. Which is always fun, isn't it? It's a good way to play it. It was literally because they were at Truth or Dare, Truth, whatever, and they were, okay, what's your sexuality? Right? Because again, there was some, like, it was kids from loads of different year groups that got on it, right? So it's one of the other kids went, what's your sexuality? And I was like, and then I did what, I was obviously wanting to pretend to be straight, don't want to be seen to be gay, oh God, got to be straight, got to be straight. And so I thought the best thing to do if you want to be straight when someone asks you what's your sexuality is you go, I'll say it if everyone else does, because that immediately means you must be straight. So I was like, I'll say it if everyone else does. So he goes around and literally everyone, of course, is straight. And one of the girls like 2 years above whatever, she's like, oh, I'm bisexual. And I was like, oh, what's that? Tells me what it is, comes round to me and I go, yeah, I think I'm that. I'm that.
Yeah.
I'm bisexual.
Like, you both sister.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like, oh, that's the word I've been looking for. But then still, like, I learned what the word was, and then still takes ages to actually get back to your life. So I say, like, yeah, it was probably 16 when I first was like actually going to people going, yeah, I'm bisexual. I'm not straight. I'm not. So I fully I'm on board. I fully get what you're saying. I'm on board with what you're saying. Like, there is that idea of committing it to paper. But I guess really like I hadn't already been dating before I found out about myself, and I can't imagine how difficult that is. But then in the same breath, what I say is I've probably had one serious-ish relationship in terms of, we were together for 18 months, but that was, that's the closest I've come to a serious, proper relationship. And so again, it's one of the things, and also I've never had a relationship with a woman. So I've dated women, but I've never had a relationship. And again, that's when you then sort of you feel like a fraud.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, like I'm saying I'm bisexual, but I've dated women, but I've never actually been in a relationship with a woman, and that's kind of quite. Again, then you end up questioning yourself again, going, "Am I what I think I am?"
Yeah.
And the answer is yes. Yes, I am. But it's convincing yourself that and believing it is another.
There's nothing worse than. Because growing up, if you asked me how I'm feeling, I could say what I was and it was fine. What's your favourite food? I could tell you it was fine. If you'd asked me, like, do you fancy just women? Yeah, I'm just women. And then there came a point where, when I was like 16, I was, just enjoying some me time, and there was men there, and stuff happened, and I was like, oh. And then my anxiety kicked in and was like, you're pretty gay. And then
suppress it.
It got real bad, because I was then like, oh, what if what I've thought was finding men like appreciating attractiveness and finding somebody attractive, what have I got that wrong? And it blew out of proportion for a very long time, and then I got into a relationship for 8 years, so I never really got to fully understand.
And also what I would say is that comes back to something again we talk about all the time, which is just how bad sex and relationship education is in this country. And not this country, the world, but this country in particular. It's bad, right? Like the fact that people will be learning it's okay to be a man and have sex with men from pornography.
Yes.
That's fucking mental. But that's the way people are learning. And like, I don't want to sugarcoat it, that is still the way people are learning. Like, that is still the way children are learning. Like, that is, there's so many fucking issues with that. And it's genuinely, it's scary. It genuinely is, because you just, especially when it's something that you went through as a kid. I mean, I don't know about you, Holly, but we both certainly went through that. It's what we've talked about. And it's like, when you've gone through it, the last thing you want is the next generation to go through it as well. And you're like, nothing has changed. Nothing is getting better, and that's kind of really shitty, because you just immediately go, nothing's changed, nothing's getting better. Will it ever get any better? I do believe it will do. It's going to take time. I also believe these things are secular. Talk about it a lot. They come in cycles. You look at the minute with things like I think homophobia is massively on the rise because of transphobia. They're intrinsically linked. But then, you can talk again. You can see it with the far right as well. Far right seems to be getting bigger now, but it's like we had UKIP, and then they died down, and then Jeremy Corbyn came in, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is now the new flavour at the ice cream shop." And then that dies off, and then Trump comes back, and then Reform, and then just these living scum turn up, and you've got to put up with these people. But they will go away again. The idea is that you want it. With homophobia and transphobia, is you hope at some point it will go away and stay away. And that's the one. That's what we're lacking, because it does. It comes and it goes. It definitely does. We're just not at a point where it's going and staying away for long enough to be actually impactful. That's what annoys me about certain things. Like it's like things like pride. People will always moan about pride. People at the minute saying things like. Again with the rise of transphobia, things like that. At the minute, it's like very much people saying things like, "Well, it doesn't bother me, so I don't know why they need this." And it's like, you're part of the fucking problem. It's really fucking annoying. It's the only way I can say it. It's just really...
I came out as bi when I was 19 and thought that that's what I was. And then. Quite similarly to you, then I got into a relationship with a man and believed that that's what I needed to do, and that relationship lasted for 4 years, and he very much didn't like me saying that I was bi. So that suppressed it even more, and I was like, no, I'll never actually be with a woman, and I had to spend that time alone as well to then go, actually, I'm not attracted to men. And that is in no way me saying that, like, you can't be bi. Like, that's, to be clear, like, that's not. It was just my journey, and
it's just your story. Everyone has a different story. Yeah.
But I think that what you're experiencing is so, like, it's not normal in the sense of it shouldn't be that way. No. But like, so many people have been through it. Yeah. So like, don't feel that this is just you going through that. Like, unfortunately, it is a normal process for so many bi people.
And people experience it at so many different times. Yeah. I had it when I was a kid. You're having it. There will be people in their 50s, 60s having it now as well for the first time. It's like it is just there's always going to be a time for something to first happen, and that's what it is. And I think it also comes back to this idea that it's easier to conform, right? Yeah. Even as a bisexual person, I would say it is, for me, it would be easier societally for me to go, I'm bisexual, but I just date women. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? That's not what I want to do, but that would be easier for me. I'm not going to put words in other people's mouths, that's obviously not, but that's, for me, that's sort of my personal view on it. And there have been plenty of times in my life, even now, you know, I'm you know, I'm happy, I'm comfortable where I am, I'm sort of where I'm at. But even now, there are points where I sort of wake up and go, life would be a bit easier if I was straight. Yeah. Life would be just that little bit easier. And there's still times I go, do I actually wish I was? And there's still times I have that thought process, 100%. Yeah, and that unfortunately doesn't go away. And the reason that doesn't go away is not because of anything we can necessarily do or change about it, but it's about the way society needs to change. You know, at the end of the day, we live in a first world country where people are still being ostracised for who they are. Yeah. But you know, this, which just is not acceptable or okay in any way. And also, like, my big thing with homophobia, which I sort of realised recently, is that it's when it suits them. Homophobia suits them. Yeah. Because, like, I saw a thing today, this was like, before he became president for the first time, Trump was asked about trans women and trans men, and about the issue about, you know, single sex bases. And he said, well, look, there has... there was a quote in there which was something like, it's not been an issue yet before, there are bigger things to focus on. And so the interviewer went, so would that be something you'd want to immediately fix? And he went, no. And now it's like, it's because it's flavour of the month. Yeah. This is how I'm going to win an election, is by saying, you know, let's ban trans women from women's sports. Like, that's absolutely...
Well, that's what's going on with Labour at the moment, is is pretty much, as far as I'm concerned with it, it's a case of they going into this was like, we're going to protect trans people, we're going to do this, it's important to protect trans people, and then they've gone, right, we might not stay in power, so let's try and appease some of the right by doing benefits and...
I think the fact it took Starmer so long to come out and say he agreed with it says everything you need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it doesn't take 7 days to say yes or no. I think the fact it took him that long, and again, previously he has said, he's quoted as saying trans women are women. Yeah. Why is that idea now changed? I don't know. My biggest, and again, as someone who isn't trans, it's not my place to say at all, but my biggest issue with the ruling is, what the fuck has it achieved?
Nothing.
It's achieved nothing. So it's like, because it's created a rule that's unenforceable. Yeah. Yes. Like, you can't enforce it. So all it's done by them putting this in paper, all it's done is allowed bigots to be more bigoted.
Yeah. 100%.
That's all it's done. Yeah. So it's like, there was never any need for it. Why did we? And then you look at some of these bigots going, the fact that you even have to go to court in the first place tells you what you need to know. It's like, the one thing we fucking agree on. They should never have gone to court. It should never have gone, because all it's done is cause more friction and more tension. Yeah. And that's going to lead into more hate and hate crime. And I do fundamentally believe, you know, violence. It is on the rise as well. But also transphobia it's intrinsically linked to homophobia, because it's the T that's part of LGBTQ+.
Absolutely.
So it leads to, you know, we're all grouped together. Yeah. So it's like, and I'm not saying what I'm going through is equally as bad as what transgender people go through, because it's not. But it is, the rise of transphobia ultimately leads to the rise in homophobia. And so it is like, it just feels like this whole thing is a fucking farce, and there was no need to do it.
No, 100%. I'm quite lucky in the sense that my sister's transgender.
Yeah.
Born male, transitioning female. So growing up, my sister was always just, oh, my gay brother. That's always what it was, and that was, I think, also helped feed the homophobia in the back of me, because I remember when she used to wear pajama bottoms on her head and pretend she was Tomb Raider. It was
great.
So so it was from early doors we kind of knew, but in my head I was like, well, it's gay. Gay's bad, and then kind of growing up and then experiencing what I've kind of been through, and obviously I was the first person she came out to. I've been with her to doctor's appointments and stuff, and seeing all this stuff happen, I'm just like, it's because what you're saying there about the I saw I can't remember where it was. It was an interview the other day with a far right politician and a far left, and they were saying technically it's now easier for these people that we're trying to protect women from in the bathroom. It's easier for me to get in there because I just go, I'm a trans.
It's bullshit.
I'm trans.
It makes it so much easier.
Yeah. So I can.
But they don't think about that side.
No.
That's the issue. That it's only what suits them.
Yeah.
It isn't. They're not thinking about it the other way around. It's what it is it's just pure transphobia.
Mm-hmm.
But then they want to go. But then they're like, well, no one's listening to us when we say transphobic things. So I know.
Yeah.
Let's say that this is a feminist thing, because then they'll listen, and we'll say we're just trying to protect women in women's spaces, and it's like, when have you ever wanted to protect women? Like, what are you talking
just
about?
go and
It's
write
also
another
not the-
fucking book with a badly named Chinese character.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's also
Shut the fuck
they make
up.
it sound like the women's bathroom is the safest place on earth. Like I'm gonna go up to the door and be like, shit, how do I get in?
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
do this.
That sign has someone in it.
That's not me.
Yeah.
My body is a triangular.
It's like an NPC just like trying to get in.
Running into one space.
When you're lagging on the floor.
That's how I look when I'm walking anyway. If you're really that threatened by me, you know what I mean?
I'm never not going to be able to see you as a Skyrim NPC.
Well, let's think of this from the other side. Have you had some positive responses to you saying I'm bi when being on dating apps?
Please God say yes. We really need a spin. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It is
I've never said it on dating apps. I remember the last person that I dated. She was great.
But you're meeting people outside of dating apps?
Yeah.
How is that happening?
I don't know.
No, I'm joking. I met my fiance outside of
Oh,
dating
nice,
apps.
nice. It's and we were together, like, not like relationship, but together for about 2 months, kind of on and off dating. And I remember one night being like, right, I'd hid it from her, which is bad, but and I was like, no, I need to be real, because if this is going to go somewhere, I need to be real. And I remember she picked me up from the train station, and I was in a car, and I got really upset. And I was like, look, and I just panicked and was like, I've shagged men. And she went, okay. And I was like, huh? And then we went and got Mackies, and it was lovely. And it wasn't even a bit, she wasn't like, it's okay. She didn't take this big stance of being like, don't worry, I still respect you for who. She was like,
she didn't Dead Poets
Yeah.
That
She
was really interesting when you said that. Like, my mind went, I'm in that position, and my first thought was like, what, today?
Work was really, really tough.
Can I ask a genuine question?
Yeah, sure.
Which is, it's a big question to ask with only 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
But we're going to go for it. Which is, you said there, like, oh, it's important that I say I'm bisexual. Is it? Is it? Because I think there's a society. Again, do I have to tell my partner who I love at the time that also, previously I've dated this gender, and in the future I might do as well if this doesn't work out?
Yeah.
Is that, like,
That's
at the
really
moment,
interesting.
I love you.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not something like you have to do with any other thing that's different. I don't go, oh, by the way, I've had sex with someone who's not autistic.
Yeah.
But in the future, I might have sex with someone who is autistic.
I think,
Like, you know what I mean? It's not like you don't have to do it with any other thing.
Yeah.
I think at the minute, society tells us we have to.
I think it goes back to the homophobia thing again, because I think as soon as you say, I've slept with a man, it's like, AIDS, ? And it's something that I agree with you. I don't think but it's one of those that if I'd been dating somebody, if I'd only ever been with women and only attracted to women, and I don't know, I've been with someone for 10 years and I bumped into an ex, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's fine. That wouldn't be a thing. But if I turn around 10 years into it, it's like, oh yeah, I was with this dude. I don't know. It's just in my head, because of the way my anxiety works, I panic, and I it's just because my main thing with my sexuality is trying to put labels on it. I use bi as the term for it, but I go with bisexual something romantic. Like, I'm not necessarily that interested in, like, I'm definitely more interested romantically to women than I am to men. I've not really found that.
Okay.
But again, I don't know if that's some form of, this is my anxiety speaking again, but I don't know if that's some form of, like, internal homophobia, or like, have I opened myself to that?
You personally, what I would say is that doesn't matter right now.
Exactly.
Like, that's just where you're at right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just where you're at
It doesn't matter.
right now.
No.
Like, and even like labels, like, I don't know, like I struggle with it because I'm only attracted to women now, but like, you know, when I first came out, I didn't really come out when I was like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
But people were like, well, you're not attracted to men anymore. And it's like, why do you fucking care?
Yeah.
See,
just leave me alone.
This is how homophobia gets you, and always has, is it makes you feel guilty.
Yeah.
It's not about, if someone just comes up to you and calls you a slur,
Yeah.
that's horrible and bad. But I can sort of front
Deal
that up.
with it,
Yeah.
because you know you're just a fucking prick.
But you can just look throughout history. AIDS, right. You are the reason people are dying, so they've made you feel guilty.
Yeah.
Now, things like that, I'm going to say this, the hideous woman you dated. She immediately made you feel guilty because she was like, you're the reason this isn't going to work out.
It's like
No,
really
you are. You're the bigger.
Or,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really
yeah.
subtle, but like, it wasn't really subtle.
Yeah.
It's like people think of homophobia as, like you said, like,
Subtle as
It's
a
the-
gay
yeah,
operating in
it's the
Abacus in a
nuance.
cathedral.
you know, you think of when you say homophobia, people are like attacking you and things like that, and it's like it's basically never that.
Yeah.
It's like that's never happened to me. However, people being like, oh, you know, something just small, like a little side comment that's made you like, what the fuck, made you question everything,
And
or
it's just all about making you feel guilty.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
But
because
this
it's so
is
much
the
easier
thing
to
for
not
me,
like yourself.
going back to the main thing, is going to gigs. I never know whether or not I'm gay enough to apply for, because I don't talk about like
You are.
sleeping with men.
you
Thank
don't
you.
have to.
But thank you.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, I don't ever want to go to a gig and everyone else is talking about stuff, and then me get up and be like, so I was dating this woman,
Right,
and
listen. When you go to a queer gig, people in the audience,
It'll be refreshing.
if there are,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's one thing that I've found about doing queer gigs. After the fifth person that's talked about scissoring, like they don't want to hear about scissoring anymore.
Yeah.
Like and that's what I struggle with, because like loads of my material was gay stuff, and then I was finding like being a specifically queer gig, they're like, okay, we just want to hear comedy.
Yeah.
Like,
So when I do an all disabled gig, I don't talk about disability.
right.
Yeah.
When I do an all queer gig, I try and not talk about being
You
queer
don't
because it's
have
like
to.
I address it in a way that it's like, well, look, you know why I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, you have to bring it up because you have to be like, you know why I'm here. They've not gone, we're going to be an all queer night, apart from this one guy.
Yeah.
Because you know who deserves a voice? Straight people.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that, are they? You know,
Yeah.
But you do still feel like you have to, you know, they know why you're there.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So-
I've done disabled gigs before and felt like I needed to say, because it's very hidden, like I needed to say why I was there. But I think in reality, like, again, they know why you're there. They know that you fit into this category.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not the right word
whatever,
to use,
you
but
fit
that-
into whatever category it is.
Yeah.
So they know, like I said, audiences aren't stupid.
Yeah, you don't need to be like, by the way, right, in the past.
I know,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I did in
there was
Windsor
this
last
guy,
night.
like-
They were pretty stupid in Windsor last night, actually. No disrespect to the people of Windsor. You think of shit. No, I'm joking.
The answer to the question is yes, you are gay enough.
Fair enough. That's good. Well, I've learned something today.
Congratulations.
No, thank you.
What an
Thank you.
incredible arc to the episode. We actually, for the first time ever, answered a question.
That's a really good
What an
point.
incredible arc to
And
Beautiful.
I think it's like needed to say that coming on here and this being so new to you to do this, like fucking hard.
That's unbelievable.
Seriously, I think that is so good.
Incredible kudos to you.
And you're gonna have to put it all over your social media.
Yeah,
but
send it to your family.
There will be people listening to this who are going through exactly the same thing and don't know how to articulate it. So you know what you're doing and what you've just done is incredibly important.
Thank you.
Should be in the least patronising way.
We're proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Your
Thanks,
mum and
guys.
dad
Yay!
are really
You should be
proud.
Finally, a set of parents that like me.
Oh God!
That's how we end
We've
the
not got time
episode.
to
Right. Before we say anything else dark and traumatic, thank you so much for coming. Where can people find you, Alex?
On Instagram, it's Alexander Tighe with a Z and an X because I'm cool.
Because I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, I'm a cool guy, and yeah, just find me around the Northwest trying to be funny.
Sick.
Excellent.
Great. Thank you so much again for coming along. Thank you for listening at home. It's been an absolute pleasure, this episode. I've really loved it, and I'm quite desperate to end it because I sort of just want to give you a hug. So it's sort of where but thank
With
you.
consent.
Yes.
I'll say it.
Oh yeah, I want to give you a hug in the women's bathroom.
But I was safe there.
Fuck you, JK. In the women's bathroom, yeah. It's where we do all our meeting. Thank you so much for listening at home. Please rate us, review us, all of that jazz, and follow us on social media. That would be great. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again next time on the Queers On podcast. See you later. Bye.